there for Dustin. We'll zoom in a little bit, see exactly that Argenna does look like has a supreme verdict on the stack, I believe. We'll see. There's also Numzawashite and a Sword of Fire and Ice in play, a couple of lands here, so we'll see exactly what's going on here as Spencer is up a game.
Yeah, this is, we kind of expected Jun to actually defeat Esper Deathblade, so I'm surprised he's down a game, although Spencer's got some really powerful equipments in play, and Dustin, I can't see what does, yeah, it looks like he's got some more mana in there, and he does have the Punishing Fire combo going.
One smart person on Twitter does say that it is much harder playing in a shirt with sleeves, which
It's, yeah,
that is true.
it's exhausting.
That is true.
It's a lot more exhausting.
And do want to give some credit here to Lloyd Kurth as well. I'll tell you what, forcing that Lotus Petals, I mean, that play may actually won in the game. I'm not even kidding. It looks crazy.
No, it definitely did because of the Scalding Tarn.
Yeah, that play may have just won him the game.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Play of the night. Wow. So let's see here. Dustin facing off against two really impressive pieces of equipment. Fortunately, Spencer does not have anything to equip to it. It looks like he has two creatures in his hand. Again, he's facing down the Punishing Fire combo, though. So very difficult to equip creatures, especially if they're 2 power or 2 toughness or less.
Let's see what Spencer can do here. He's sitting at a relatively healthy 10. Dustin at 15. Here's a Stoneforge Mystic. All he needs to do is get one creature on Sword of Fire and Ice, but I don't know if he's ever going to be able to do it. That's the tough part. This Punishing Fire is always just going to be running rampant. So, might be headed to a third game here in a moment. There's Batterskull.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of situation we thought Dustin could exploit. And Spencer is going to get a Batterskull. Let's see what Dustin decides to do. If Dustin, yeah, if Spencer doesn't try to equip here, Dustin's really doesn't have to cast Punishing Fire just yet. I think he will, though, because he doesn't want the Batterskull in the way. But because he has Lightning Bolt in his hand, too, and an active Deathrite, with Spencer being at 10, he's pretty close to dead. But looks like he's just going to deal with that Stoneforge Mystic and then probably drain at the end of the turn. But nope. Looks like he's just going to untap.
Doesn't going to draw a card here. And that is a Wooded Foothills. And just going to pass the turn back. No rush here.
No rush. I'm content with just grinding you out.
Caracas. There's a Snapcaster Mage. Here's a Batterskull. It's pretty nice. 4 toughness and all, but...
Yeah, unfortunately, Dustin does have the Punishing Fire along with the Lightning Bolt. So that can deal with the... But I think I don't think he wants to do it. He doesn't have to do anything yet. He can wait for Spencer to try to equip. But then again, he exposed himself a little bit to counterspell or some sort of permission if Spencer has any in his deck.
I think what Mr. Spencer is looking for is a True Name Nemesis. I think that's the card he would like to draw.
Yeah, True Name would be a sick top.
Would that be good?
Would that be good? Do you like that?
Yeah. Going to return Punishing Fire here. We have seen this before. This is actually what makes things a little bit difficult here for the Esper Deathblade deck, because all their creatures outside True Nemesis can be fired down by Punishing Fire plus Grove of the Burn Willows. Heck, even the Planeswalkers can, like Jace. Jace is actually pretty poor against Punishing Fire plus Grove of the Burn Willows. So it's about True Nemesis in this matchup, and hoping you can get it to live. And if you can get some equipment on it, you're likely good to go.
Yeah, that's probably how Game 1 went. I'd imagine it was just, hey, here's a equipment on a True Name. Everyone's favorite. So Spencer's currently at 6, so let's see here. Can he finish him off this turn? Deathrite drops him down to 4. We have a Lightning Bolt that brings him down to 1. You activate Grow the Burn Willows, bring him up to 2. You get back your Punishing Fire, and then you kill him. So yes, I believe Dustin might have enough to just kill Spencer this turn. And Dustin is just thinking about what he wants to do here.
Yeah, I think he does have the win available right now.
If the life title's correct, I believe he has it.
Yeah, you just got to find it, that's all.
And Bloodstained Mire for the turn. And yeah, especially given the fact that he didn't actually just try to kill the token last turn, I think he's actually going to just, yeah, he does have it. So he's going to gain a life, and then he's going to get back to Punishing Fire. Spencer's going up to 7, and Deathright Shaman activation plus Lightning Bolt plus Punishing Fire is exactly 7.
Boom, Lightning Bolt. Boom, Punishing Fire.
Boom.
Deathright Shaman. That's it. Boom,
All
headshot.
right.
Dustin Shiles is going to win game number 2 here over Spencer Argenna, and that means we're going to head to a third and final game here between Esper Deathblade and Punishing Jun, which means I suppose we can take a look at the sideboards, if you don't mind. We will look at Spencer's here, and on his sideboard, there are a whole bunch of 1s and 2s, a Cage, a Needle, a Sword of Fire and Ice, 2 Melee Mages, 2 Rest in Peace, a Disenchant, a Flusterstorm, an additional Force of Will, Path to Exile, 2 copies of Zealous Persecution, a Supreme Verdict, and a Thoughtseize. We saw Verdict cast that game, so it looks like that's in the deck. What else do you like here, though? A lot of 1s and 2s, man.
I mean, obviously, Rest in Peace is huge. I kind of like Meddling Mage, too. I would bring in old Chris Pakula. I think BB, who was talking about it? Brad? Brad was talking about how Meddling Mage, he just kept bringing in card more and more. Just naming Abrupt Decay,
Yeah,
maybe naming
he
Punishing
loves it.
Fire. It's like whatever. It's just a guy.
Yeah.
Just name Punishing Fire. I mean, sometimes you can randomly just hose your opponent. Obviously, Sword of Fire Dice, Meddling Mage, Rest in Peace. Let's see there. Beyond that, though, I like the Supreme Verdict and I guess the Thoughtseize, maybe. But beyond that, not much else. But again, he's got, Rest in Peace, obviously,
Rest in Peace is
very
great.
good at stopping the Punishing Fire combo. Turns off Tarmogoyf, turns off Deathright Shaman. Turns off your Deathright Shaman as well. But no, I believe he's playing he's not playing the Deathright version. So, yeah, it looks like a pretty solid sideboard strategy. On the punishing side, he's got 2 Ancient Grudge, which is obviously great considering all the equipment that Spencer has. He's got, let's see what else he has. A Golgari Charm, that's a way to actually deal with Rest in Peace. 2 copies of Engineered Plague, probably not good enough. Let's see there. Umazao Jete, I kind of like that card. I like the Maelstrom Pulse as another way to deal with equipment. And I actually like the Phyrexian Revoker too, because it can randomly, you can name Stoneforge Mystic. It can randomly just name cards that are a little problematic. It's another creature. Not ideal, but if you feel like you need another way to kind of stop equipment, it's a reasonable card to bring in. But definitely the Ancient Grudges, definitely the Maelstrom Pulse, and I like the Jete as well too. And Golgari Charm is another thing I think I would like to bring in, just because one, it can stop, it kill True Name, and then it can also protect you from Supreme Verdict. It can deal with Rest in Peace, so it does a lot of heavy lifting in this matchup.
As you see a few players there behind Dustin kind of walking away. The reason for that is because there are some players dueling some Modern.
Oh, yes.
Some Modern battles over there in the background. Our Modern Mirror IQ had 8 rounds today, so players
250 players.
Yeah, they were not messing
Very popular event.
Yeah, they are finishing up that tournament as well, so that was a big hit. We're glad we were able to bring Modern over to you guys moving forward here on the Open Series. A lot of players came out for the first one. Expect to see it happen in Kansas City next weekend, too.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how that one grows. People really love Modern, but obviously there's a Grand Prix next weekend, so testing for that a priority for a lot of players as well.
Absolutely. Well, game 3 looks like it's going to be underway here. Both players finished shuffling, and we are going to watch hopefully a fun one here. The winner of this match, again, going to play against Lloyd Kurth, who did make the top 8 of our Standard Open, looking to bring a trophy home with his Shardless Bug deck, a deck that actually we saw win in Portland a couple of weeks ago in the hands of James Wynn, playing Shardless Bug. So maybe that deck's back. Maybe it's back.
Yeah. And I know Jerry T would be happy if it was back.
Absolutely.
So Spencer, it looks like he's going to mulligan to 6, and I believe Dustin is comfortable with his 7 cards. Spencer just replacing a sleeve here. And, I don't know, Legacy Modern, people always talk about which format's better. I love both formats. And, I'm excited that I believe Star City is actually running a Legacy Grand Prix later in the year as well, right? At Grand Prix, New Jersey?
Grand Prix, New Jersey.
Oof.
You going to be there? You don't go to any events. You going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
All right.
It's in my hometown.
All right. You never go to anything anymore. You're so old.
I am
Makes me
pretty
mad.
old.
I'm actually genuinely upset that you're not going to Worcester next weekend. I get to play one tournament.
I'm a very busy man, and I have very important things that I have to do that weekend.
Okay, brunch boy. Brunch and some bad chick flick. I know.
Yeah, you got to do what the boss says. Whatever the boss says, you do.
What's the best recent chick flick you've seen?
The best recent chick. I prefer not to say because it's fairly embarrassing.
No, you can't do that.
probably a movie called Enough Said. It stars Julia Louis-Dreyfus and James Gandolfini, and it's like about two middle-aged people. I don't even want to talk about it. It's too embarrassing. Let's just go back to the match. So Spencer leads with the Plains after a mulligan to 6, and he passes. Dustin Shiles has a Bloodstained Mire, and he's going to crack it. Spencer's got a pretty good hand here off of a mulligan. But let's see what Dustin does here. If this is a Deathrite Shaman, it's a pretty good start because I don't think. Oh no, Spencer does have a Plowshare. So
Okay. Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal. I mean, Deathrite's still a good start regardless, but there's a buy-in.
Dustin's cycling through his deck. It looks like. Oh yeah, it looks like he brought in a Power Blast too, as possibly as a way to stop Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Also counter Tree Nemesis before it hits play.
That's true. Yep.
Once
that's
it's
right.
in, obviously. Can't get off the table Power Blast, but you can stop it. Got some versatility there. Now here is Deathrite. I think we're going to see a Source of Plowshares real quick here. Yeah, get that thing out of here. Deathrite is too good to let stick around.
Yeah, I gotta say, the cool thing about Jund is it allows you to play Blood Raid Elf in Legacy. There's just something so cool about that.
Jund is, I actually just genuinely like Jund because it's like a fair deck, but it's like a good fair deck.
Yeah,
That's actually why I like it.
And
Dark Confidant.
you get to play Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant, Deathrite Shaman. This card, this deck was too good in Modern. They had to ban it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Dustin has a Wasteland. Unfortunately, Spencer really doesn't have any targets just yet. And there's another Deathrite. Wow, so great draw there for Dustin.
Well, there's an answer in Council's Judgment. That can get that off the table, but do you want to keep having this battle is the question.
Yeah, especially if you have a Vendilion Click.
Mm-hmm. The only click I don't expect to stay around very long in this matchup, however. A lot of removal there over for Dustin. Abrupt Decay, Punishing Fire,
Yeah.
Lightning Bolts.
The only good thing for Spencer, though, is it looks like it might be able to take a Bloodbraid Elf away from Dustin's hand. So even though, yeah, it's a one toughness creature is usually not going to live very long against Jund, being able to steal either a Punishing Fire or a Bloodbraid Elf can be pretty good. But Dustin's hand is just stacked. Dustin's got a Bloodbraid Elf, 2 Dark Confidants, and a Liliana the Veil as well. Wow. So very, very good hand for Dustin.
Just going to pass the turn back here after playing the Underground Sea. Draw a card, Will Dustin. As you said, his hand is relatively stacked at this point, so we'll
Looks like
see.
he does have that Engineer Plague, too, that we brought up in the Cyber Day. Didn't expect them to bring it in, but again, that is, oh, I'm sorry, that is a way to kill True Name Nemesis,
Yeah,
of course.
so you expect to see that too. Just name Merfolk. Those things are gone. So actually, his deck's pretty good against True Name Nemesis. It's going to sacrifice one of Foothills. We also saw Dustin a bit earlier against Goblins with Engineered Plague, and I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't close at any point.
And Spencer has an interesting decision here. He might want to respond in response to the Sackland to Vendilion Click, because you got to think, if he's sacking right here, is a potentially, he might have Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah, because right, if he's going to sack, he's probably going to use his Deathrite Shaman too, right?
Yeah.
To add some mana. No guarantee of that. I mean, Deathrite Shaman could attack.
Oh, yeah, so you can respond to the activation of Deathrite Shaman then.
That's true. That's true.
But then again, if Bloodbraid comes into play, you could always hit like an Abrupt Decay or something. There's a good chance he could just hit something that won't matter. So maybe you just don't care about Bloodbraid. Bloodbraid in an empty board isn't nearly as devastating because obviously there are cards that can get blanked. He's going to remove a Wooded Foothills, generate 4 mana, and Spencer's saying in response to the Deathrite Shaman he might have an effect. Yeah, he's going to respond.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
he's
like
going to
it.
make that play.
I like it.
And he's not going to be happy with that hand, though, because if he takes the Bloodbraid Elf, he's basically just going to let Dustin play a Liliana.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
Actually, the way he tapped his mana, actually, he responded to the Deathrite activation, so you can just say, name a Get a Black.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. What mana is
Oh, wait, you know what? No, that's not true.
Yeah, he hasn't announced the mana that he has floating.
I don't think he, I don't know if he announced the mana he had floating.
Yeah.
He kind of tapped everything all at once, so little poor sequencing there from Dustin. He might not be able to play Liliana depending on what he has floating here, because he obviously he was going to cast Bloodbraid Elf, so you'd imagine he's probably tapping for red and green, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. I think that's the question right now. Okay, what mana are you using?
Yeah. Now, yeah, this is a tough turn for Dustin. A little poor sequencing might lead him to not be able to cast that Liliana. So let's see. I think they're both trying to figure out what's going on here. Obviously, if there is a black in his pool, it's going to make his decision a lot harder. You don't want to let Liliana resolve, and then he's just going to down tick it, and you're going to lose your click anyway. So
not really going to get much work done. And you can see Spencer, he's got a real decision to make. Again, Liliana over there, you see the Engineered Plague. There's 2 copies of Dark Confidant on the Bloodbraid Elf, which is what Dustin wanted to cast. It's a lot of stuff for Spencer to overcome because his hand's not very good, but those are all like card advantage machines, each one of them.
Yeah, and if you don't take the Bloodbraid Elf, now Abrupt Decay, if it gets hit, that's live now too. So he's going to take the Bloodbraid Elf, and now if Dustin didn't have a black floating before the Deathrite activation, then I don't think he can cast the Liliana this turn. He might just have to settle for a Dark Confidant. Or Dark Confidant Sylvan Library.
I've seen worse turns. That's for sure.
So, not sure what color mana he has floating. I think that's the question still.
Well, we're gonna find out pretty quick based off of what he casts. Don't forget Deathrite Shaman can add any color too. So there's a library.
Again, if he likely just had a red-green floating, now he can get a black off the Deathrite. So Dark Confidant is going to come into play. So still a pretty good turn, despite the fact that he can't get Liliana. He can always try to go for Liliana next turn.
Spencer's going to unsap. He draws a copy of Academy Ruins. You can see his hand right now is not very good. Again, he's got 3 lands, Academy Ruins, Crocus, and I believe a Swamp, and then a Council's Judgment. That's it. No Stoneforge, no equipment, nothing sweet to do, no Tree Nemesis, even though that can be handled by Engineered Plague. So he is in a world of trouble. Look how far behind he is. Opponent has Sylvan Library to help with the draw, has Dark Confidant for card advantage, Deathbright Shaman with the color fixing, everything else that card does. There's a Wasteland to go after lands. He's got great cards in his hand. It's going to take a real nice string of draws here for Spencer, I think, to be able to get back in this.
Yeah,
this is looking ugly.
Dustin's draw this game was just fantastic.
Now, don't get me wrong. Caracas is actually pretty good in this situation because it can mess with Vendilion Click. But outside of that, not great. He actually has to use Caracas for the second white to be able to cast Council's Judgment.
But do you want to cast Council's Judgment?
Well, here's the thing. I think this is, maybe Spencer's thinking is, my Vendilion Click's going to be pretty poor anyway, because of Engineered Plague, so what's the point of doing this Caracas stuff? I suppose you could just bounce it back with Caracas and take E-Plague.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you basically, if you don't tap your Caracas, like, getting rid of Sylvan Library when your opponent also has a Dark Confidant play is not the biggest thing in the world, but Dustin could make a mistake and just play Liliana, thinking he's going to be able to down-tick it, not realizing the Caracas interaction. Then you can kill Liliana that way and deal with Engineered Plague. So I don't think you get that much value out of casting Council's Judgment, and you could potentially just force Dustin to make a mistake.
Yeah. And given the hand, and given what he's working with, I think in this situation he has to hope he makes a mistake.
Yeah, you gotta take your chances, and I think it's a calculated risk. You're not, and all you're doing is, and you're still gonna have a Council's Judgment in your hand. You're basically giving him 1 turn to activate Sylvan Library. So Dustin now got revealed the Tarmogoyf for that Dark Confidant, and I believe he drew an Ancient Grudge. So he does have protection against artifacts. So that's huge because obviously True Name Nemesis equipment is one of the main ways Spencer has to defeat Dustin. We're going to see a Liliana. Yes, we are. So Liliana's going to start putting a lot of pressure on Spencer's resources. Dustin's going to be generating a lot of card advantage off that Dark Confidant. And he also has a Wasteland in play too. Let's not forget.
I don't know how he can come underneath this Avalanche card advantage. Every single card that's out there for Dustin is providing just an advantage that's cascading right now. Dark Confidant again providing more cards each turn. Liliana, all right, I'm gonna take care of Vendilion Click, and now I'm gonna start going after your hand.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of said this before the match. You kind of, we kind of thought Punishing Jund was going to defeat Esper Stoneblade.
It just seems really tough for Esper Stoneblade. And there's not even a Punishing Fire involved in this game yet.
No, just a lot of powerful black cards. So Spencer draws an Inquisition of Kozilek. It's going to see all the nightmare cards out there. Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant, Ancient Grudge, Engineered Plague. Just a lot of problematic cards.
Pick a card.
Yeah,
you can't have all 4.
You can have 2 of them. I'm probably going to win with what's on the board anyway.
Yeah. It's actually what I was thinking. You can pick 2 of them. Not take Grudge because it has flashback, but you can have 2 of the other 3.
I guess you take the E-Plague here, maybe? I don't know.
I think you take E-Plague because, well, I was going to say I think you take E-Plague because Tree Nemesis is you're out here, but because Liliana's going to go up.
Yeah.
It's not even that great of an out now. Man, Spencer is in a horrible spot.
Yep, he's going to take Tarmogoyf. Dustin's going to reveal a Verdant Catacombs, a Dark Confidant, and draw for the turn. Looks like it's another Verdant Catacombs. And I kind of like getting another Dark Confidant out there. Although Spencer does have double white, so a top deck Supreme Verdict would be pretty bad. He's going to attack for 2. Just uptick Liliana, get rid of the last card in Spencer's hand, leave him with just 4 mana. Yeah, I think last turn he needed to wasteland a Caracas to keep him off a double white.
Leon takes your Academy runs. Play another Dark Confidant. And his life total's high enough that that's not even really risky. Spencer's going to draw a card. This is how Jun wants to play literally every game. Just grind you into the ground, and then you can't come back because their incremental advantages are too much to overcome. You know, they're not going to do anything really busted. Here's a Path to Exile, but they're just going to grind you down with Dark Confidant advantage, Liliana advantage, Punishing Fire advantage. Eventually, what you draw just doesn't matter. If Spencer could Demonic Tutor right now, what would be his best draw?
That turn, Supreme Verdict.
But he's not even like out of the woods. It's fine.
It's just, yeah, you still have to come down with a Planeswalker.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's kind of, yeah, this is the deck. You know, it's very grindy. Liliana Veil I feel like in Legacy, it's on the same power level as Jace almost. I mean, only because it's faster to get out there. You know, I've seen Liliana Veil just take control of so many games in Legacy. It's unbelievable. And, you know, just costing 3 instead of 4, and it goes perfectly in Deathrite Shaman decks. It's like, it's just such a problematic card for so many decks, especially the fair decks. And even the combo decks.
Even the combo decks is a little scary because they can play it on turn 2 because of Deathrite Shaman.
This is kind of, you know, this is the reason Bug Delver decks and Jund decks are successful because of Deathrite Shaman and Liliana Veil are 2 of the big reasons.
Yeah. Bob, Verdant. Wasteland.
Oh, why not? Lock you out of Supreme Verdict now.
Yeah, there's a Grove, too, in case Punishing Fire shows up to the party. You can keep going to work. As an attack for 4. Argenna's going to go down to 10.
Yeah, let's see here. Wasteland takes out the Caracas. You uptick Liliana. Things are looking pretty good for Dustin.
You're putting it pretty mildly. Things are looking great.
Even like a Lingering Souls wouldn't do anything because Dustin has an Engineer Plague, and he doesn't even have Lingering Souls in his deck.
Up to 3, discard a land, hold on to a Grudge, pass the turn back, draw a card. That's a land. Go ahead, Dark Confidant. It's actually the way for Dustin the way for Spencer to win this game is Dark Confidant actually killing Dustin, I think.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to happen. Abrupt Decay and Tiger are the cards revealed. Here comes a card drawn. It's another copy of Liliana. That's a pretty good one to discard to Liliana, of course.
Somebody put an Emrakul on top of Dustin's deck. That's Spencer's only chance.
In for 4 we go. Spencer's going to go down to 6. Dustin, again, can move that Liliana elevator up. That's what he's going to do. Be able to make make Spencer sacrifice creatures if necessary. There goes the Taiga. Just going to pass the turn back. Doesn't have reason to do anything. Spencer going to play a Flooded Strand, pass. You know, I was thinking, what if he draws Batter Skull? Well, he has an Ancient Grudge. Also, he has a Liliana in play. Dustin going to take 1, go down to 9. 3rd card coming for the turn.
I don't think he drew for the turn.
Yeah, he doesn't need to draw for the turn. He did forget to do that, so we will make sure that happens here in just a moment.
Let's see here.
I guess he's thinking I don't really need any more cards to win.
Yeah.
So
let's try to keep this fair.
I'm doing you a favor.
And yeah, I mean, you don't really need to cast a Deathrite Shaman. You don't want to. 100% Got to play around Supreme Verdict a little bit, but again, doesn't really matter.
So they will get this resolved here in just a moment. Put a pause on this relatively close game.
This is pretty close.
Yeah. This part is horrible for coverage. Just, all right, we need to figure this out, Jose.
Yeah. This is
Draw the card, reveal the cards, kill you.
This is really close.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in finding out how this game's going to play out because I feel like. Oh, and he drew a Golgari Charm the card he didn't draw, the card he drew for the turn is Golgari Charm to protect himself against Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Living the dream.
Yeah,
Now I'll play Death Wish. Yeah, sure. No
it's
problem.
safe now. It is definitely safe. There is a Grove. This is a taking up.
This card, Ancient Grudge, for max value. Oh, all right.
Just a land. Don't need that land.
All right, so we'll pass here. Spencer draws for the turn. I hope it is a Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, it's going to stick. What it is an extension of the hand. Dustin Shiles is going to win this match. His friends behind him are absolutely thrilled because he is moving on to the finals to play against Lloyd Kurth, Punishing Jund versus Shardless Bug.